Hello, financial investors, and welcome to the channel. My name is Brent, and today we are going to be doing our weekly recap for January 27th through the 31st of 2020. We're going to cover the four main indexes. We're going to look at my portfolio changes for the week, what stocks were up, what stocks were down, percentage changes. We're also going to be jumping over and taking a look at stock futures. What is Monday currently looking like? We're going to look at the entire S&P 500 for Friday and also for the week. What stocks within the S&P 500 did really well last week or did really poor. Also, we're going to look at financials, oil, the dollar, silver, gold, bonds, and end it with mortgage rates. Just a very quick video going over some of the data that's out there. And also, I like to kind of do these for historical references week by week. So, with that all said, let's go ahead and get into the video. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel but interested in stocks, dividends, real estate, or personal finance, subscribe to the channel. If you do enjoy this video, find it helpful, hit the thumbs up. And if you have any comments or questions, drop them into the comment section below. I do read and reply to all your comments, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So S&P 500 had a bit of a rough week last week. Friday down 1.77%. Monday, this is showing as down 1.57%, but it was because of Friday. Going into Monday, we had just lost quite a bit. Monday morning, we'd actually increased. I know when I was looking at stock futures for the week, Monday we popped higher here. You can see on Monday at close, we had popped even higher going from Monday into Tuesday of 1%. Just when the market closed and the market opened, you had already gained a nice chunk there, and then throughout the day on Tuesday, just continue to move higher and higher, just trying to get rid of some of what had coronavirus had done over on Friday and Monday. Now, it did kind of taper off as more and more people, and it began to spread over to new countries, and it kind of had settled in a lot of investors' minds, a lot of the world population's minds, and Starbucks is closing stores overseas. There's a lot of other businesses sort of losing business travel wise, and a lot's going on with that right now. So overall, the coronavirus is affecting companies within the S&P 500 and outside of it, just kind of affecting the market overall. And that's kind of what we see here with the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and the Russell. So for the week, the S&P 500 was down 2.12% year to date, now in the negative by 0.16%. The Dow Jones down 2.53%. So a little bit more here, just getting hit just a little bit further. So down 2.53%. Now the Dow Jones is down almost 1% year to date, down 0.99%. Now the Nasdaq didn't get hammered as much as the S&P or the Dow Jones, down only 1.76%. The Nasdaq is the only index here that is still in the positive year to date, up 1.99%. Now the Russell, I like to kind of cover the Russell on a week by week basis. I like to kind of include it's more of a national, how are we doing here within the United States as more small mid cap companies. And this got hit pretty hard, down 2.9%, putting it down. It was already in the negative, but it is down even further, down 3.26% year to date. So, how did our portfolio do in comparison to the main indexes? And overall, it got hammered pretty hard here. We did have a bit of a recovery here in Monday. Monday we were positive, but then after Monday, we just continued to kind of slide further and further down. And what had happened was, I believe Altria and AbbVie had continued to sell off. You can see here some of our big winners this week: Las Vegas Sands, Avery Dennison, McDonald's, Tanger Factory Outlet. These positions are not very large. The largest here is Tanger Factory Outlet with $735, but a lot of these other positions, McDonald's, Las Vegas Sands, Avery Dennison, and even some of these Southern Company, Consolidated Edison, Eaton Vance, even though we have a lot of green up here, the value of these companies aren't really enough to offset the losses, and the losses have bigger chunks. So 3M, fairly decent position, down almost 10% last week. Pfizer down 6.36. I was thinking of AbbVie, it's actually Pfizer. So it got hit pretty hard last week, down 6.36%. Simon Property Group down almost 6%. Wasteco down almost a little over 5%. Lancaster down 5.07, and so on. So we had a lot more red with more equity in these positions. So the portfolios took a bit of a harder hit, down 3.11%. Losing about $646 as far as gains go, but that just provides us with more buying opportunity. There really hasn't been a lot of buying opportunity within the portfolio, so I've been having to add new positions in here. So I have a lot more red in the portfolio than I have had in the past few weeks. So this is just more buying opportunity for me to kind of average into positions that I haven't been able to average to in the past few weeks or months, such as Walgreens. Any of these positions below $800 of equity are just positions that I'm now able to average into that I haven't been able to average into in the past. And this little blip in the market is giving me that opportunity. Now, jumping in, taking a look at stock futures. Right now, stock futures are looking positive, but it's currently Saturday night. So I'm recording, it's about 1 a.m. Sunday morning. So we still have Sunday to kind of take into effect and kind of see what's going to happen. But currently, S&P, Nasdaq, and the Dow Jones is up about 0.09 to about 0.17%. And looking at, I guess, Bitcoin soared by 30% this year so far due to the coronavirus. So a lot of investors are possibly moving that way as a way to offset their market. I'm not sure how Bitcoin is sort of reacting to the coronavirus this way. It's kind of interesting. Haven't read the article, but if you're invested and you own Bitcoin, let me know in the comment section below. I own a very tiny fraction of Bitcoin. It's not even a whole coin, so kind of interesting. So last Friday, Amazon Thursday I think they beat earnings Thursday after hours and had affected them on Friday. So I think that's what it was. Thursday after hours, Amazon came out with their earnings. Beat earnings were up almost 10% in the after hours. That carried over into Friday. Even though Friday was a bit of a scare, they did shave off a little bit of their gains, but they still came out very positive, up 7.38%. We can see here also Colgate up 6.2%. I believe they probably had some earnings as well. Not one I was tracking as far as earnings. IBM down 5%. I read that they had came out, did some earnings last week as well, so they must have done really well, up 5% on Friday. AT&T and Verizon. Now, looking at the 1 week performance, what companies out there within the S&P 500 overall did really well last week? It was a lot of the companies that had earnings and did really well with their earnings. So, Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, I believe, also did earnings. General Electric, interesting to see General Electric here, up 6.32%. Look at those utilities. If you don't have any utilities in your portfolio, now could be a good opportunity to look at companies that are within the utility sector and possibly pick up a few of them. You can see Coca-Cola down here, also positive last week by 1.25%. So very interesting. So you can go ahead and pause this video, look up at the top for the sectors. So if you're looking for a specific company by sector, look for these sectors and kind of just look at what was positive and negative if you're just interested in that. Financials negative for the week again. Kind of last week they were hit hard. This week not hit as hard. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citigroup being the hardest hit here, down over 5% last week alone. Overall, the financial fund down 1.41%. Oil took a huge hit last week, continuing to get plowed here, down 5.16% in the week. Year to date, down 15.38%. I don't see how this. Yeah, okay. So here you can kind of see how it's sort of affected here. Exxon down 6.33%, Chevron down 4.21%. Just a lot of the other companies here just very red. They're one of the brightest red companies. So if you look at all the sectors out there, you see a lot of red out there, but this whole sector here in the basic materials and oils are just kind of very blood red. So that's what got hit, and you can see that effect here within the ETF for the past week. Dollar kind of moved lower for the week and then kind of fell here on Friday. So during the week, just kind of trended sideways. And Friday, we can see here that it started around 97.92, fell all the way until 97.36. Probably next week it may recover. It's been in the state of 97 and some change for quite a while now, so I don't see that really changing. I don't know why I track the dollar. It's kind of an interesting one. I don't think anybody really uses the dollar to invest or anything. I just kind of have included it in so many of my weekly recaps. So silver down for the week by 0.53%. I'm not sure what's affecting silver here at this point. It's at almost $17, so it could be actually hitting a sort of a ceiling here in the short term. You can see here as of early January, they were almost hitting the $17 mark. They kind of came back. They're trying to retest the $17 point. I remember in late 2019, silver had just blasted off like crazy. I hadn't tracked it for quite a while, so I wasn't sure where it was at, but kind of interesting. So silver is down for the week, but guess what? Do you think gold is higher or lower? It's actually higher by almost 1%. So as this coronavirus is kind of getting spread out, maybe investors are moving to hedge their positions in equities by moving them into gold, into silver, into Bitcoin. So gold is up 0.91% for the 5-day, up 4.5% now year to date. Bonds also moving higher by 0.72. They are going ex-dividend here on the 3rd, and the dividend will be payable on the 4th. So very quick turnaround on the bond. I don't know if I own BND in any of my normal stock accounts. I think I do own some bonds and another, like the thrift savings plan still, but that's it there. Mortgage rates continuing to fall. We saw last week mortgage rates had fell a little bit. They're continuing to fall even further, now down 3.7%. It's very crazy out there. You know, my neighbors just sold their home. My other neighbors just sold their home. Now we have, brand new neighbors. It's kind of interesting to see. With rates so low, there is a lot of movement here within the community as far as people buying homes for themselves or just kind of invested in homes and refinancing. It's kind of an interesting time with these very low rates. So that is going to be it for this video. I really just want to kind of cover something very quickly. As far as the activity for the week, I got one dividend. See, what was the dates? 27th through the 31st. So I did receive one dividend from JP Morgan of $3.92. Nothing too crazy right there. So $3.92. I don't know if I covered my sell. I think this may have been, yeah, I did cover that, CenturyLink. And that's been my only sell here in quite a while. So if I look at my activity type for my trading, there's only been a few. It looks like I sold a little bit of Apple. Yeah, Apple. I sold out of Apple at $315.34. I'll probably be buying into Apple again. I do think in the short term, Apple will kind of fall. I'm really hoping for a $280 price point before I re-enter, but I will re-enter Apple with a little bit more. Even buying it higher, I sold off $250 worth of equity right here at $215, but as Apple trades lower, where's their share price here? 309. They lost 4.43% there on Friday alone. So I really want them to move down to about $280, touching that 200-day moving average, and I'd feel more comfortable buying Apple at $280 versus, holding it over $310. So that was my thought process there. They kind of been very high in the sky right now, and just kind of waiting for them to kind of pop back down just a tad. So that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy this video, definitely hit that like button below, the thumbs up. If you do enjoy this content, the stock market, dividends, real estate, or personal finance, drop it into the comment section below. I do need to make more videos going over real estate into personal finance. I'm trying to make different content blocks within my channel, how to go out and produce more income, videos related to producing more incomes, videos related to saving and how to save your income, videos on how to invest your income in the stock market and also in real estate and other means. So that is what's in the future as far as where the channel's trying to go here in 2020. So we will go ahead and proceed. So that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.